going on, fellas? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Little bit of kind of filling the wick again from yesterday's price action. A lot of emotions in the market right now. A lot of emotions. Everyone feeling a little bit on edge. I can feel it. Can everyone else feel it? What's going on? What's going on? Josh, Aurora, Tony, Shane, Donaware, Tom, Dominique, Hose, Anderson, MJ. What's up? We're jamming out. They call me DJ Jordan today. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Hope everyone having a fantastic day today. Bitcoin testing the lows of 63,400. Is the pullback over, or are we going lower? That's the question that everyone has to talk about. We're going to look at both scenarios today, okay? We'll look at both scenarios. What could happen, right? What we could see from upside, what we can see from downside, and we're going to go from there today, okay? I think that's the best thing we can do. We have a lot of turbulent times, and we'll talk about it, right? We have a lot of turbulent times right now. We got war. Everyone's panicking at the gymborees of World War III. But little uncertainty in the market right now as everyone's feeling like what's going to happen next, right? So we'll talk about it. First of all, Bitcoin back down to 63,427. Really just chopping around at these lows here. We'll see if we break down. At the end of the day, here's what we're gonna realize, right? So I guess when we look at this from both scenarios, right? We got Bitcoin chopping up and down. Right now we're at the low side of the range, right? Let's just look at what's possible, right? What have we done in previous pullbacks for Bitcoin, right? So I guess in previous pullbacks, right, we got Bitcoin from top to bottom. At the moment, we got Bitcoin down about 16%. Okay, so 16% from top to bottom. Okay, so it really hasn't been that bad for Bitcoin, right? 16%. Okay, if you were buying at 15K, 20K, you don't really care about a 15% pullback. Okay, what's got everyone on edge is the altcoins, right? For obvious different reasons. Okay, leverage trading, all that stuff. Okay, don't do that, guys. Don't do that, guys. But let's look at what all the pullbacks have been. So for all the pullbacks in this bull market so far, right, the data suggests that each one has been in between 20 and 22%, right? So this one was 22%. This one was 20%. This one was 21%, right? This one was 21%. And like we said, so far this one is at 17%, right? So 17%. So let's just do a hypothetical, right? We're going to look at, like I said, we're going to look at both scenarios today. What's possible based on what we've seen in this bull market so far, okay? So 20 to 22%, what would that get us down to? So 20% would put Bitcoin around 58,750, all right? 22% would get Bitcoin down to about 57,251. Basically, both of those would be sweeps of the lows, right? So you have one low, we have two lows. 20 to 22% would basically just be sweeping these 60K lows for the most part, right? 57 to 58K, right? Basically be sweeping those lows. The other thing is the bull market support band, right? So this right now is at 52 to 54, right? 52 to 54. If we do sweep these lows, right, a pullback to the bull market support band is always possible, okay? Is that likely? I don't know, right? We all don't know, but it's always possible to go back to this bull market support band. So I'm keeping some dry powder on the sidelines personally in case we do break these lows. If we break these lows, I'll be stacking some limit orders in here to scoop any type of big wick. You know, if I wake up tomorrow morning and Bitcoin wicks these lows, I got some limit orders set up in case we get a little sweep of these lows. But I don't see, based on previous bull markets, if this is still a bull market, right, why Bitcoin should go below the bull market support band, because it never has gone below that, right, when we've gone past the halving before. It's never done it, right? We've never broken below the bull market support bands in any market after the halving, okay? Unless we're going into a bear market. So that's what I'm looking at, right? At the end of the day, Do these lows hold? Who knows? But at the end of the day, the most exciting thing that we talked about yesterday, right? As once again, I can feel the fear. The fear is there. It's the first time I actually felt some fear in this market since really the COVID lows, since the FTX lows. I haven't felt the same sentiment since the FTX lows. Now, does that mean the bottom's in? No, right? Fear takes a little bit while to play out, right? We got to get all the fearful people out of the market, right? So it can take a little bit while to play out. But I haven't seen this much fear and this much anxiety in the market since FTX lows, right? Now, why is this important? Once again, like we looked at yesterday, right? This is the altcoin markets back when Bitcoin was at all-time highs back in 2020, and this is where altcoins are now. Okay, now we've talked about the similarities here. We've talked about the narratives over here. It was COVID 2.0 on this move down, scare everyone. Literally right before we went to absolute Valhalla in that bull market. Right now we got World War III. We break the lows. We got everyone panicking in their gymborees. Will the same thing happen again? The sentiment says no. The narrative says no, but it also said the same thing back in 2020. Okay, but the same exact point, Bitcoin battling the all-time highs and the sentiment being absolute dog shit. Does this play out? Once again, we'll find out, but we have seen this before. And I think if you're in the market right now, I think the best thing you can do is, if you got some dry powder, okay, you don't have to go all in on every buy, okay? So we had a little bit of a dip. We had a pretty big dip, right? 50% or so on altcoins. Maybe you buy a little bit. If it goes lower tomorrow, you buy a little bit more. Don't go all in on your buys. I think that's the most important thing, because nothing is a guarantee. Nothing is a guarantee. So at the end of the day, I think we got good times coming. And the bad, fearful times usually precede the best times in this market. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know it feels bad. And it feels like the world's ending. No pun intended, like we're going into World War III. But, in all seriousness, I think, even if we do get a Bitcoin flush below these lows, I think that gets bought up pretty quickly, in the sense that a lot of people looking to buy in the 50Ks. So at the end of the day, we don't know if it's going to go below 60K or not, right? I'm not going to sit here and act like I do know. But at the end of the day, I do know there's a lot of good things happening, right? Despite the whole World War III narrative, right? Today, Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong approves the first Bitcoin and Ether ETFs. It's quite interesting. I think I like this stuff for the long-term outlook. Is really, really good for Bitcoin, right? Once again, it's not going to do anything in the short term, like we talked about yesterday, right? They got approved today. Bitcoin was down. It's not a short-term thing, and they haven't even launched yet. So we do have some good things happening in the Bitcoin market. We got the halving coming up, which once again is not a pump indicator. It's more of a long-term good thing, right? Halving coming up in 4 days, right? So do we see a little bit of fear before the halving? We already have, but we could see more, right? We could see more at the end of the day. So the main thing I want to talk about today is the stock market, right? So the stock market taking a big pooperoni, right? Big pooperoni for the stock market. Fear of war, fear of inflation, a lot of fear just in the market at the moment. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, and I think a lot of people are forgetting this. It's an election year, okay? Now, this doesn't mean that market can't keep going down. But remember, it's an election year, okay? They are not going to let the markets crumble during an election year, okay? Could it keep pulling back? Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep pulling back. It can keep pulling back all this week. But at the end of the day, if the stock market takes a huge ass tumble in an election year, they're going to do something to boost it back up, which is probably printing money if they can, okay? So remember, right now we have the NASDAQ that's down about 5% from the highs. Finally actually got a really good break candle on the NASDAQ. And we got the Dow Jones actually down about almost 6% from the highs, which is actually a pretty big number for the stock market on a pullback, right? So we finally got a little bit of pullback on the stock markets, which is why crypto has been a little bit weak. But at the end of the day, they are not going to let the stock market crumble during an election year. If the stock market crumbles, Biden will 100% lose. They will not let that happen, okay? So at the end of the day, we're going to wait for the stock market bounce. When we see the stock market bounce, we're going to do some good stuff, okay? So that's what we got, right? That's what we got. Once again, Bitcoin just hovering at the lows, right? You could feel the tenseness in the market, right? You could feel the tenseness. Everyone's so tense. Oh my God. Jeez, man. Like we thought it was going to be up only for the whole time, right? Guys. Jeez, man. You know, sometimes I wonder, and this is why, and I hope this is a little bit of a reminder, do not buy highs. Do not buy highs on coins, okay? I said for months, I'm not buying any more crypto after that last consolidation phase. And that's the exact reason why. Because, right, let's go take a look, right? So let's go look at near. Near, for example, right? This is why we don't buy highs, right? This is why we don't DCA when the market's already up, okay? We don't do that, guys, okay? So remember this for next time. We buy fear. Now's the time where you should be buying, okay? You should be buying the fear. Now you should be buying. If it goes lower, you should be buying a little bit more. You don't buy when the market's consolidating at the highs, okay? Let this be a lesson, right? So we said back here, we're going to use near, for example, okay? So when near was down here, I bought some near. Right around this area, I said, as I'm not buying any more altcoins. I'm done buying unless we see an absolute market tank and I see a bunch of fear in the market, okay? Market got a big move up. A lot of people say, I'm still DCA. I'm still DCA. Guys, do not DCA on the move up, okay? That is a horrible idea. If you want to DCA Bitcoin, I think that's Bitcoin's fine, okay? I get it, right? If you believe in Bitcoin, you want to throw in, whatever your DCA amount is every week, that's cool, right? But altcoins, guys, don't buy the highs, okay? Don't buy the highs. Wait for the big fear pullbacks, and then you're not gonna feel like shit when the market pulls back because your entry was lower, right? So if you bought back here or during the bear market, right? You get this pullback. Yeah, it sucks, but you're still way above your entry, right? And because you were stacking a cash position while the market was moving up, okay? So as the market moves up, we don't buy, right? We stack a cash position. Extra cash goes into stable coins. Extra cash stays in the bank, right? And then when we get a big fear, because it always comes at some point, right? We have a cash position. Then now we can go throw in the market when there's massive fear and we take advantage of other people's fear. So as everyone's panic selling, right? Everyone's panic selling right now. That's okay, right? Maybe it goes a little bit lower and they can buy lower. Certainly could happen. Usually it doesn't work out that way. Usually if you panic sell, you're going to wait for lower and then you're not going to buy when the bottom comes anyways. So it is what it is. But now we can take advantage of other people's capitulation, okay? Of other people's forced selling, right? People get liquidated on leverage positions. We can step in with the cash position that we built for a few months because we didn't DCA at the highs, right? And we can scoop that up, right? So I'm looking at this as an opportunity. I didn't think we were going to see prices like this for altcoins, to be quite honest, guys. I didn't think we were going to see this. So I'm looking at this as a huge opportunity, pre-having to able to scoop up alts that with some dry powder. I didn't think we were going to get prices on again, to be quite honest. But at the end of the day, really a lot of these pullbacks, I know some of them are pretty bad, but a lot of the good coins, right? We're nowhere really near like the last consolidation levels, right? So like that's near, right? I was buying here. Now we're up here. Okay, boo-hoo. So now, right? I bought some Pepe yesterday. If we get another dip down, maybe I'll buy some near, right? But like here's Pepe, right? We were talking about Pepe down here. This was the January, February consolidation. We don't buy on the way up, okay? We don't buy during the top consolidation. We wait for the fear, everyone panic selling, and then we step in, okay? Then we step in and we buy other people's fear, right? So let that be a reminder for next time. Don't DCA the way up, okay? But that's that. Now, right now, right, short term, let's look at Bitcoin, okay? Let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, look at the chat, man. Look at the chat. You guys crack me up, man. You guys crack me up. You guys crack me up, man. The chat. It's the end. Down only. Oh, there's blood. Oh, holy shit. There's a lot of blood in the market. There actually is a lot of blood in the market, to be fair. To be fair. Now, like Bitcoin in the short term here, guys, right? We're in a range. But like we said with Bitcoin, right? It's always possible that we're going to break these lows, like we said. So that's what we talked about yesterday. It's like, do we take out these equal lows? Or do we hold a higher low here? I think this is going to be pretty telling, right? So if we can't hold this golden pocket, so we basically had this low, we came up, now we came back down, right to this little local golden pocket on the second retrace, right? So this is going to be pretty telling. I think if we start smashing through and closing candles below this golden pocket right here, it's probably likely that we're going to take out the lows, all right? If we close a 4-hour candle below the golden pocket right here, it's probably likely that we're going to take out the 60K lows, okay? But like we said, the pullbacks we've seen from this point have been about 20 to 22%. So that puts us, like I said, like 58K to 57K, which would be a sweep of the lows, okay? So just know that. It's always possible. No one's a genie. So just be prepared for either scenario, okay? What else can we talk about? So Grayscale, just keep selling. Grayscale, and I said this, just keep selling now. Get all the Bitcoin out of here, okay? At the end of the day, once they're done selling, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have to not worry about Grayscale anymore, and we can have Bitcoin be somewhat free of a big entity owning a shitload of Bitcoin by themselves that they can sell at any point, right? So Grayscale sold another 1.6 thousand, or I should say 1,600 BTC today for another 110 million. So just let them keep selling. I said this, like the earlier they can just run out of their coins, the better that is for the long-term aspect of Bitcoin, okay? Which, remember, Bitcoin is the hardest asset on earth. It's the only crypto that I actually believe in for the long term, and many, many people do believe in it for the long term. It's been the best performing asset really at any time frame you look at, to be quite honest. So that's what we got, right? Let Grayscale keep selling. Let them keep selling. Sucks in the short term, right? They're a bunch of cockroaches for selling all their GBTC, but just let them keep selling in the short term, right? That's what we got there. Velo data. Let's go look at the Velo data real quick. So Velo data, let's go check out that real quick. So Velo data is 63,368, right, on the Bitcoin price. Open interest still super, super low, but we have funding, which is negative still for Bitcoin, right? So what that means is basically shorts have to pay longs for being open. As you can see that we kind of been dwindling with negative funding here. So we have negative funding basically while Bitcoin's at the 60K support level, okay? Doesn't mean it's necessarily 100% that we're gonna bounce from right here. It just means that shorts have to pay longs to be open at the current moment. Right? Actually, not right at this current candle, but the last couple candles they had to pay him. So we'll see what happens there. Most of the open interest is gone, so there's like not a lot of leverage left on Bitcoin, right? We talked about this yesterday, but almost all the leverage got whacked yesterday. In Bitcoin, in altcoins, almost all the leverage got freaking whacked yesterday, right? Lowest open interest since Bitcoin was at January 11th, which was the ETF high. The lowest open interest. So almost no one is leverage trading anymore. Thank God. Stop leverage trading, guys. It hurts everyone else. It makes this market basically Bitcoin sells off a little bit and all you guys get liquidated. It pushes the price down. Chill out. Just buy spot, guys. You don't need to use leverage in this market, okay? But good. I don't see a lot of people really opening leverage positions. That's really, really good. Keep it up, guys. Just buy spot, okay? That's good. OG Yomi, what's up, man? Thanks, OG Yomi. You said total 2 and total others got golden cross on the weekly. Look what happened the last time it happened. Same price action. 50-week SMA across the 200-week SMA. We'll take a look, OG. And EAD said if BTC stays in this range for the next few months, doesn't that prevent having front running? After this dump, I don't feel the bull run will end in 2024. Not necessarily, because Bitcoin really hasn't dumped, right? I mean, I know everyone's kind of all up in arms, and I think that kind of shows how everyone's just all in altcoins, right? But Bitcoin really hasn't dumped. This is not really a dump. It's really just sideways, right? And altcoins have gotten whacked. As we said, like until Bitcoin breaks through that all-time high, altcoins are going to have a tough time. We need Bitcoin to smash through that all-time high, and then altcoins will do their thing. That's how it's always been. Don't get it twisted. Altcoins I know have come down a lot, so if Bitcoin does bounce here, you're probably going to see the altcoins bounce pretty hard too, just because they've already come down so much. But yeah, Bitcoin hasn't really gone down that much. I mean, Bitcoin's down 15% from the highs. So it's not really a pullback, you know? But, you know, once again, it could still pull back more, right? Just be open to that. Like we said, bull market support band is at 52 to 54. I see that. If this market does get a little bit worse, that's where I see downside capped. Is like 50. Really, this cluster right here, like 50,000, really 50,000, 52,000. But really, the bull market support band on any type of weekly close is where I see the market, like worst case scenario, going to, at least in the short term. All right, so what else can we look at? Altcoins, right? So, you know, it's interesting right now. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It really is, because we're taking a look at how it's played out in the past, right? So we've seen this fear at this point before. If you were in the market in 2020, we've seen this before. Same shit. Just a different narrative behind it now, right? And, you know, it's not always about the narrative, right? I'm a big believer that pullbacks are in the charts, right? Maybe altcoins need to cool off a little bit because people were trading like the stupidest meme coins in the world. Like, I don't think meme coins mark tops anymore, but when people start trading like these cringy ass memes on Solana and it's just super cringe, I think that's probably a good top signal, right? I mean, some of those memes were just so stupid. It was just getting ridiculous. We needed to wipe them out. Okay, so is it because of this World War III? I doubt it. If the market was strong, we probably wouldn't have dumped on this World War III shit. Okay, but happens to be the thing that kind of pushes the market down, right? But, you know, we've seen this, right? Let's go back over here in 2020. And let's go back to over here. And we've seen this. Like, this is when Bitcoin, right here, during this box, let's just mark this off. So this box, I don't like it how it's like this. Hold on. Let's just do this. Let's take out the text. Okay, so this box was when Bitcoin was testing all-time highs last time, okay? Now, it doesn't have to play out like this. There is some differences in this, right? We did have these lows here. I guess the one difference is that when we broke through these lows, this was a big move, right? This was a 34% correction on total 3. 34%. Right? The difference is on that next daily candle, you can see that we instantly reclaimed back above, right? So we dumped, but then the next day we opened and we instantly were able to close back above those lows. I think that's the slight difference we have right now. Is I'm not totally 100% confident in this until you see these lows right here. These lows, the closes. See how we tried to come back up, but today we actually came up, we wicked to it, but then we rejected, right? We rejected from there. Last time we just pumped back up, we closed back above here, and then it was good. Today we came back up, rejected from that point, and pushed back down. So what I need to see, and I think what we should be watching for, is really to get back above these daily close lows right here. That's what I need to see to be uber confident that we're going to see some shit like this. That's the one difference we have right now between these two little fractals here. We got to get back above this low, which we haven't been able to do yet. So we'll watch that. All right, OG Yomi wanted to look at the 50 and the 200 EMA. All right, let's look at moving averages. Hold on. Moving average. Moving average. Simple. Okay. So let's take this one. And you said okay, it's the 50 and the 200. All right, so let's take the 50. And let's take simple. Let's take the 200. And I think you're talking about the daily, right? Come on, man. 200. Okay. There we go. So the thing I want... Hold on. Did you say the total 2 and other? Oh, total 2. Total 2. We need total 2. Okay, the issue that I have... How does your total 3? How does your total 2 get the full data? How does it get the full data, my man? Does others have it? Hold on. Others. Okay, there we go. Well, others, we never had a golden cross. OG Yomi, I'm confused. We had no golden cross. Total 2. Okay, here we go. Okay, we did have it last time. So last time we got a golden cross on this. So last time we had a golden cross on total 2. I don't know, what was I looking at before? Sometimes I don't know what I click on. So total 2, we had the golden cross, looks like right there. That was after this little pullback right here. It actually happened right at the lows of that pullback. And basically after that, you went to Valhalla. So we have the golden cross here. The only thing is, this time it happened at the lows. This time the golden cross happened at the highs. So I don't know, but we do got the golden cross. Technically, it doesn't have to be exact, but yeah, I mean, last time we had this, that was the only other time I think we ever had that. That was right before basically we went to Valhalla. Now, here we are again. Got the golden cross. Yeah, we'll see. It's something to add on to the bag, I guess. But we did technically get another golden cross. I'm usually not a big fan of crosses. I think they're usually kind of lagging indicators. Okay, we're going to get a golden cross when the market's bullish. We're going to get a death cross when the market's bearish, right? But it's not too bad. Not too bad, man. Not too bad. 63,263 on the corn, guys. But thanks, OG Yomi. You're the homie. Thanks for coming in, man. Ead. Thanks for coming in, bro. If BTC stays in this range for the next few months, doesn't that prevent having front running? Well, we already kind of front ran the halving. I mean, it was the first time ever Bitcoin's broken all-time highs before the halving. It's already been a crazy run. And after this dump, I don't feel the bull run will end in 2024. My only objection to that is don't base that off altcoins. Altcoins, it doesn't matter what altcoins do, right? I know we always want to justify if the market looks bearish or bullish based on what altcoins are doing. In reality, it doesn't matter what altcoins are doing. Okay. It only matters what Bitcoin does. Okay. If Bitcoin tops, the altcoins are topping. It doesn't matter where they are, right? If Bitcoin's already topped, altcoins are top too, right? They're not going to go back up to where they were before. If Bitcoin goes to 80K and tops, and altcoins don't have an altcoin season, guess what? I mean, it is what it is. That's the top. You know what I mean? So remember, the crypto market is all about Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what the altcoins do. As far as like top and bottoms, they're going to have their own little runs and stuff, but altcoins will always top out when Bitcoin tops. Top is still this year. I agree. I think the top comes this year. From a simple standpoint of, I think this cycle is moving faster than other ones. For altcoins too. I mean, altcoins have already performed better than they did last cycle at this point, right? I know we're all like down in the dumps, but guys, I mean, sometimes we forget, right? But just take a look at this, right? So when you feel down in the dumps and you feel like, oh my God, this cycle sucks. Guys, last time Bitcoin, okay, this is where altcoins are right now, okay? So I guess let's go to total 3. That's probably better. Total 3 minus USDT. Let's just get rid of all this. I know, let's not get rid of all this. Let's bring it up over here. Altcoins have already performed better than they did last cycle up until this point, right? So total 3 is all the way at the 0.5 fib. Let's pull this up like this, right? So you can see that altcoins literally already went past the 0.5 Fibonacci level, right? While Bitcoin was testing all-time highs. This cycle, or last cycle, altcoins were here, well below the 0.5 fib, right? So I know we want to feel like, oh my God, this market cycle sucks. We've actually done better this cycle. Bitcoin and altcoins have done better than they did last cycle so far, or based at this point, right? So don't feel down in the dumps. I mean, at the end of the day, kind of is what it is. The other thing I want to add real quick, this is for everyone out there if you're feeling down in the dumps. The other thing I want to add, okay, is the bull market support band, right? The infamous bull market support band. So this is total 3 minus USDT. Take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. All right? So the Bitcoin halving last time was right here. The Bitcoin halving was right here. Look where altcoins were, Jesus. Altcoins were all the way down there at the halving last time. This is what I mean. This is where altcoins were last cycle at the halving. Right? Actually, no, I think it was May. It was right here. This is where altcoins were last time. They were literally all the way at the lows. This is where altcoins are now. We already reached the golden pocket, right? So we've been kind of spoiled so far, to be fair. This is where they were last time at the halving. This is where they are now. Okay? Completely different. What we'll notice, though, is post-halving, we never had a daily close below the bull market support band. Okay? Right? This whole thing, all the way till we basically hit the top. We did not get one daily close below the bull market support band. Not one. Okay? We got some wicks. We all love wicks. Okay? Wicks are meant to scare you. Not for anything serious. But look, this whole time, right? Wick below. Support. Wick below. Wick below. Wick below. The whole time. Okay? So if we go look at what we just did, okay, as we got the halving coming up in, 4 days? Shit. I want it to be on 420. It's going to be on 419. God damn it. I want it to be on 420 for some meme shit. Because I know, I have a feeling, you guys see Elon announce that they're going to be coming out with payments for Twitter. Is it a coincidence that we got 420 coming up? I don't think it's a coincidence. 420 YOLO. Some news with Doge. And did you guys see Doge actually moved up today? The whole market dumped and Doge actually moved up. Someone's buying Doge. Someone big is buying Doge today. But anyways, what I wanted to say was total free. Look what we did, right? We came down, we wicked below the bull market support band. So we've seen this before at this point. And to be quite honest, this is, this is the logical low from a standpoint of these basically were previous highs, right? So previous highs, flipping into support, and the bull market support band's right there. And like we showed, we never had last cycle, we never had a daily close below the bull market support band post-halving for altcoins, okay? So, and like I said, I know it sucks right now. If you're a hodler, I think the best thing you can do is just sit on your hands, right? Look for invalidations. You could have multiple different invalidations for yourself. Come up with your own. But I think the best thing you can do is if you believe the market's going higher, and you make that decision for yourself. You choose. Do you think the market's going higher? You think the market's going lower? Make that decision for yourself. If you believe the market's going higher, the best thing you can do is sit on your hands. Maybe even log off for a few weeks. Come back in a few weeks. Okay? Don't think about crypto for a few weeks. It's probably the best thing you can do if you truly believe the market's going to go higher in the next couple months. Okay? Truly, from the deep down in my heart, that's the best thing you can do. If you have spare money, right? Mark levels that you think are good levels, right? And I think the bull market support band is a really, really good level, which I did buy some crypto at the back test of that bull market support band yesterday. And so far, so good on that. I know we're having a red day today, but if you bought any alts on those wicks yesterday, you did pretty freaking good yesterday. So yeah, that's it, man. That is it. That is it. Live life to the fullest. Embrace the fear. There's gonna be more fear if you think this is it. And if you're in the market and you're actually still feeling confident right now, and say we do bounce, right? And you think we're just gonna bounce and it's gonna be rainbows and sunshines forever. Guess what? Even if we do bounce in the next few weeks, we're probably gonna go up for another few weeks, and there's gonna be another scare, and you're gonna be shitting your pants again. But next time it'll be worse because your portfolio will be bigger. And every time your portfolio is bigger, those dumps hurt a little bit more. Okay? Trust me, okay? I'm in the market with you guys. The dumps suck. It's not fun, all right? But know that this is not the last one that we will have. And there's probably going to be one that's worse than this, where Bitcoin actually pulls back more than 16%. So be prepared for that, because it's going to happen. And this is why everyone thinks it's so easy. The crypto market is so easy to make money in this market. It's so easy to buy altcoins during the bear and just hold them to the peak bull. You think that's easy? You think that's easy? Well, you got a rude awakening. Rude awakening. Rude awakening. Everyone wants just to oh yeah, I'm just going to buy during the bear and sell sell at the top of the bull market. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. There's going to be multiple times where you're panicking, right? You're FOMO buying. It's not easy. It's not. It's not going to be easy. Remember, that's why most people lose money in this market, because they don't buy the fear. They wait for the pumps. They wait for the pumps. Right? Everyone who was buying a few months ago is still up massively. Everyone who was buying a month ago hurts. Don't buy the pumps. Don't buy in top consolidation patterns. Wait for drops. Wait for big fear. Because I see some fear right now. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It sucks in the short term. But honestly, if we want to go higher, we need these types of times. We need these types of times. Right? So that's really that. Butterfly said, I see Boss's beard now. Thank you. I had to zoom in a little bit. Let's see. Jerome said, literally everyone forgot about the halving. Well, this is what the crypto market's good at doing. It's good at making people bearish, right? Typically in the cycle before people should be bullish, right? That is what every cycle has done. Every cycle has done the same thing. Is this time going to be different? People think this time is going to be different. But I like to remind you, don't base your analysis off of what altcoins are doing. Base your analysis off Bitcoin. And your Bitcoin analysis will lead you to what the altcoins are going to do in the future, right? So is Bitcoin doing anything different in this cycle that it did in previous cycles? The answer is no. It's simply no. We come up to all-time highs, we chop around, we come up to all-time highs, we chop around. Both of these times, guys, you think it was easy. And this is why last cycle I got so pissed off. People are like, oh my God, you were in the market in the beginning and you rode it up to the top. You're lucky. It was so easy. It's not easy. And I hope this last week has been a reminder that it's not easy. So don't let anyone call you lucky when you do make it, because this shit ain't easy. You have to go through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for this shit, right? So is the cycle doing anything different? Retest the all-time highs. Bitcoin has a pullback. Altcoins got crushed in 2017 during this time. They actually went down like 60%. Right here. Right here. Imagine. It doesn't look like the market was bearish right there. Altcoins went down 60% in this little Bitcoin move down right here. What happened after that? Valhalla. Let's go to the next cycle. Bitcoin testing all-time highs. It doesn't look like the market was bearish right here. Look at the weekly candles. It looks so bullish. Altcoins went down 50 to 60% right here. You wouldn't believe it unless you really looked. Altcoins got crushed during this little Bitcoin consolidation right here. Doge went down 80%. I remember. I have it memorized. Doge went down 80% right here. And Bitcoin was just going up. Here we are again. Bitcoin testing all-time highs. Altcoins getting crushed. But what happened at both cycles after that point, if you got through that point, you had the 2017 absolute godlike run. You had the 2021 absolute godlike run. If you just got through that one stupid point where it hurts. It hurts. Right? It's that last hurdle that's there. Oh, man. But yeah. So Bitcoin's not doing anything different. Altcoins aren't doing anything different. They've gotten crushed both times. But yet it always feels different every single time, right? So just remember that. Okay? This is not hopium. This is going based off previous cycles. I know people will look at, George, you're just giving hopium. I'm not, though. I'm looking at what's happened in the past and basing it on what's happened in the past. Right here was COVID. Right here, it was one of the biggest exchanges going down. And here we are. At the same freaking point. You know? So, shit, man. All right. Shadow Realm. Let's see. Who's in the chat? Let's see. Don't let anyone call you lucky. Don't let anyone call you lucky, man. Don't let anyone call you lucky. You have to go through a lot of shit. You have to go through a lot of shit in this market, guys. A lot of shit. All right. Let's see. Just stop being poor. You can do that too. Just stop being poor. That works too. Let's see. World War III. But anyways, guys, I hope everyone's feeling good. Hope everyone's out there doing it, having a good day. I made some chicken parm for myself today. It was fantastic. Fantastic chicken parm, man. The chicken parm was absolutely fuego venale that I had today. So good. So fuego. Tomorrow, I'm actually I'm gonna make some sushi tomorrow. I never made actually homemade sushi, so I'm gonna make some homemade sushi. I'm gonna roll it myself. I don't like seafood though, so I'm gonna have to make but I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna make little Philadelphia rolls. It's gonna be great. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new though. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button up if you enjoyed the stream today. Being a little chill today. But yeah, that's it. Not culinary advice. Exactly, man. Exactly. Spray Fan, what's up, man? I've had 200Xs in my time in crypto, and there is zero luck involved. Only autism and ability to hold through 50% drawdowns. Exactly, man. People can't hold through drawdowns. And we've looked at this multiple times, okay? Everyone thinks that the crypto market is easy, right? Everyone always knows that big dumps are going to happen. When you would actually get those big dumps, everyone shits their pants, right? So I always like to bring this up. This was Doge, guys, okay? And I'm only bringing this up because you get your first big dump and you shit your pants. Everyone thinks you're just going to buy the bottom in crypto and then you're going to ride it up to 100x. So easy. Yeah. Like when you look at this Doge chart, you probably thought it was so easy, right? You probably thought it was so easy to hold from the Doge low to the top, right? It looks like that on log scale. Let's take it off log scale real quick. Okay? Let's take it off log scale. Let's zoom in. All right? This was Doge last cycle. So this was the Doge lows. Okay? This was the Doge lows. Look at this move. Okay? Now, if you were buying during the bear last time on Doge, you're like, all right, let's go, man. We're riding up on Doge. Things are looking so good. Woohoo! We're riding up on Doge. And then you have this right here. Now, you would think coming into the market that this was the top, right? This was the top on Doge. That's the top on Doge, right? Obviously that's the top on Doge. I mean, shit. This was a 50% pullback. 50%. That's the top. Right? That's the top, 50%. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. Man, this has got to be the top right here. Look at that wick. Jeez, man. Wait, why is that's got to be the top. Damn. Look at that. Look at that move. That's got to be the top right there. Shit. There's no way we're recovering from that, right? Shit, man. Look at that. That was a 75% move down. 75%. There's no way we're recovering from that, right? Man, shit, this one's got to be the top too. Holy shit. All right? So the person that was holding Doge from the lows has had to sit through 4 of these. So they must have thought this one was the top too, right? There it is again. 65% drawdown. 65% again. So we've had 3 70% dumps. That must be the top. Well, let's go a few weeks later, right? A few weeks of bearishness, okay? Right? and this is my point till today. This is my point till today, guys. This is the Doge chart right now, and everyone's crying. This is the current Doge chart, guys. This is the current Doge chart. We've seen this before. See this little consolidation right here? I'm not going to say Doge is going to do the same move. This could just be this. Okay? I'm not going to say it's guaranteed. This is what everyone's crying about right now. In the grand scheme of things, everyone wants the crazy gains in crypto. But I would say only 1% of people actually have the nuts to actually get there. Right? So I think it's always fun in games and stuff like that, but I hope that if you were bullish 2 weeks ago, what's changed since 2 weeks ago? Right? So if you were bullish right over here in the middle of March, what's changed since 2 weeks ago? Fundamentally, besides World War III. It's to be fair, I mean, we've had Russia, Ukraine, we've had the other war that's been going on in the other part of the Middle East, but everyone cares about this one now. And there's been 2 wars going on for months. It's not funny, but like everyone always wants to focus on the current thing. Everyone forgot about the Russia-Ukraine war. But now this one is everyone wants to talk about this one. It's the end of the world because this one's going on now. People forget about these things, guys. It's temporary fear. People easily forget about these things. I honestly, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but I almost hear no one talk about Russia-Ukraine war anymore. And that was like the talk of the century on the news for like months. I don't hear anyone talking about that shit anymore. You know? That's my point. Don't let these fear events shake you out of the market, guys. Don't let these fear events shake you out of the market. All right. So let's see. Doge is going to $1 plus. I think that's easily possible, man. What's that? Doge is at what? 15 cents? 6x? If the cycle, no guarantees, right? There's no guarantees in crypto. Anything you put in the crypto market, guys, could burn down to zero tomorrow. You could wake up tomorrow and all that money could be gone. Right? All that money could be gone. You have to know that, right? That's the part of being in the market. That's why don't invest more than you can afford to lose is the number one rule in crypto. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. You could wake up tomorrow and it all could be gone. Don't think that's happened before. Don't think that's not possible. But if you believe that the cycle is going to play out the same way, which I do, $1 Doge, I don't think is that crazy. I don't think it's that crazy. Everyone's already forgetting about the cycle. 2 weeks ago, it was super cycle. Screw the 4-year cycle. We're having a super cycle. A month later, look at everyone now. And see how fast sentiment can change? Sentiment can change so quickly. From super cycle to it's over. A month from now, I don't know where we're going to be. Something tells me a month from now, we'll be back to the super cycle calls. And then I'll be back to saying, guys, there's no super cycle. There is no super cycle. Take profits, please. There's no super cycle. Take profits. And they'll be saying, no, Jordan, there is a super cycle. Like I had to do a month ago. Now if I say there's a super cycle, I'll be attacked. If I sit here and say, guys, now I think there's going to be a super cycle. You'll be saying, no, Jordan, there's a World War III going on. you know, it's all, you get attacked on whatever the opposite of what everyone thinks in the moment. Let's see. All right. Super cycle, baby. Let's go. Remember when I was getting attacked for saying there's not going to be no super cycle, guys? I was getting attacked. Oh, shit, man. Shit. All right. They wouldn't switch up like that if they bought when there was at 15,800. Yes. That I would say that's relatively true. That's relatively true. All right, let's hang out. I'll answer some questions in the chat, guys. We can just kind of hang out and have a good time. But at this point, I think, like I said, if you're in the market, it's just about sitting and waiting and just realize there's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things and a lot of good times coming in this market if you can weather the storm. The storm could get a little bit worse. No one knows, right? But if you can weather the storm, I think there's some good times coming based on prior experiences, especially during these big fear times. COVID, right? COVID 2.0, FTX, all those really, really bad things that happened were all predecessing some of the biggest runs that Bitcoin and crypto's ever had. So sucks in the moment, but sometimes you got to go through these things, right? You got to go through these things. And I'll say one more thing before I get really, really weird is this fear that's going on right now, right? And seeing the stock market go down like this. Guys, if the stock market keeps going down like this, they're going to step in. They're going to step in. So like this fear, and I'm telling, and a lot of people aren't talking about this. The fear around this war, the fear around this World War III thing, if this keeps happening and the stock market keeps plunging, guys, that could be the excuse for them to ignore inflation and start. A lot of people aren't talking about that. But I think, because one, Biden wants to stay in office, so he doesn't want the markets to go down. Because if the markets go down, you know people are going to be calling for Trump. Because the markets went straight up when Trump was in office. He ain't going to let that happen. If the stock markets keeps going down, they're going to step in because it's an election year. And that could be the excuse for them to start printing the money again. And we know what happened when they started printing money last time after the COVID dip, right? So I don't hear a lot of people talking about that either. Mr. Morrow said, teriyaki chicken sushi roll. What the F is Philadelphia roll? Teriyaki chicken. Philadelphia roll, a lot of people argue it's not sushi. I would agree, but I love cream cheese. I think it's true, right?
I don't like sushi.
Yeah, I don't really love sushi, so I like the fake sushis.
Chicken tempura.
I like the chicken bentora. It's so true.
Tempura.
Chicken tempura roll. Why can't I say that word? Tempura. Okay, there we go. I said it. Chicken tempura roll is great. The Philadelphia roll, I think, is what? Salmon and cream cheese? It's salmon, cream cheese, and avocado. I think that's my favorite one. And I don't even like, I honestly, I don't even like seafood. I just like that the cream cheese is in there. Cream cheese. And I like the chicken tempura roll. And what other sushis do I like? We'll keep the Bitcoin chart up. You guys don't have to stare at my big face. What other sushis do I like?
It's the fake crab, it's not salmon.
Oh, it's the imitation crab?
Yeah.
I like the imitation crab. Spicy. No, I don't like the spicy. The spicy tuna is disgusting in my opinion. Maj doesn't like the spicy tuna either. Shit. What else is there? I like kind of just like the veggie roll. I know that's kind of weird and kind of like so 2024 vegetarian style, but I do like the veggie roll. I'm like swallowing my saliva right now, thinking about the sushi I'm gonna make tomorrow. I gotta get one of those roller things, those wooden roller things. I gotta find it at the store. I don't know what store do you buy one of those wooden sushi things where you roll it. I don't even know what store I have to go to get one of those things. Shein. Okay, we're gonna go to Shein. Don Cologne said, Jordan, at what BTC price should we start DCA out of the market? I think you should have already sold some, in my opinion. I told you guys a couple times when I was selling some Bitcoin. I honestly, it largely has to depend on when you bought, right? I mean, if you bought here at 58K, I get it. You're not going to want to take profits up here at 70K, right? I mean, I understand. But, I mean, I've already sold some Bitcoin up here. So, I mean, my answer would be I already did. So I already did start selling. But, you know, I mean, it really depends on when you bought, right? That's going to be a different answer for everyone. I know you're not. I know if you bought at 50K, you're not going to be happy with a 20% gain to 70K. You're going to be like 20% gain. But if you bought at 20K and you're up 3-4x on BTC, right? You're going to think differently, right? You're going to be like, okay, I'm going to take some Bitcoin off the board, right? I'm up 3-4x. It depends. Depends. I mean, I would argue, and if we do get Bitcoin up to those mid 70Ks again, I would take some off the board. I would take some off the board. Why? Well, I mean, we'll talk about that. I have a general thesis on what I think is going to happen, but we'll talk about it when we get there. Let's just see if Bitcoin holds these lows first, and then we'll talk about it coming up the next few days. But yeah, I think I would take some off the board. You might not be happy doing that, but you're going to feel really, really good if you take some off the board. You're initially going to feel like shit when the market's bullish and you sell some and it goes a little bit higher. You're going to feel like shit. You're like, why did I sell it? But you're going to feel really, really good is if you take some profits, it goes back below your entry, and then you got some dry powder to throw in the market if you want to. Or you just throw it in the bank and you don't buy it back. It's up to you, right? But, you know, I'm not saying go out and sell like half your Bitcoin. I'm just saying like maybe sell a little bit of it, you know? Just so you have a little dry powder on the sidelines. You're always going to feel better about dips when you have some dry powder on the sidelines. That's what I've learned, at least. But good question, man. Dan said, Chief, next time I go to New York, we're doing better sushi and better ramen. Okay, Dan, let me know when you come to New York, man. Let me know when you come to New York. We're going to go up to people again and say, when moon. Right, deal? But yeah, we'll go up to people and say when moon. And right now it actually would make sense to go up to people and say when moon, because we all want to know when moon. You know, like when the hell moon? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be, 2 months from now? Like when moon? Jen said, if you haven't sold already, then no point selling now. I would also argue that depends too. I think that also depends too. Depends on your life, right? I mean, listen, I think if you were buying Bitcoin at 15, let's say, I mean, you don't even have to buy the lows. Just say you were buying Bitcoin down here in this box, okay? I'm gonna give a price, but just say you were buying Bitcoin down here. You rode it all the way up, and now you're upset you didn't take any profits, right? And you're feeling a little bit nervous. I think sometimes we like to say, don't have lettuce hands. Sometimes if you're feeling a little bit nervous, that probably means you're a little bit overexposed in the market, right? You probably have a little bit too much money in the market. So I know people will make fun of like saying, okay, selling a low. It's all relative though. If you were buying down here, you're really not selling a low, right? Psychologically, you feel like you are, but you're really not, right? You're up 3x on your buy, so you're not really selling a low, right? So it's all relative. So I'd always say like it depends on when you bought. If you feel more comfortable selling some Bitcoin off, great, right? If it goes higher, okay, boo-hoo, Bitcoin goes to 80, 90K. You're gonna miss out on 20-30%. Boo-hoo. Let's go all cry about it. But if you did and Bitcoin went a little bit lower, one, you're gonna feel better because you did, and then you can decide, do we want to throw it back in the market or do I not, right? It's all relative. It's all relative. And sometimes actually taking some money out of the market because you feel a little bit overexposed can sometimes be better if it makes you feel better, right? But that's my thoughts. That's my general thoughts. Let's see. China ETF hype was only a few days when US ETF hype lasted years. That's true. Well, I think remember, it's not China, it's Hong Kong. So they're different things. I think remember, it's the approval. They didn't launch yet. And remember, it's kind of like, so we got the approval of the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs in Hong Kong. Remember that, right? They didn't launch. Right? So if I remember correctly, this was the approval date and then this was the launch date, right? So Bitcoin kind of like corrected in here after we got the approval and the launch, and then Bitcoin kind of corrected a little bit, right? So, I mean, here we are. Hong Kong ETFs get approved. They haven't been launched yet. I'm assuming they'll be launched probably towards the end of this week. And that's why I think I don't really know what's going to happen here in the short term, right? No one really does, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to know that, but I think you have to focus on the high time frames, and don't be so worried about the halving price action. It's there to shake you out. We've seen it before. It's nothing different. That's why we don't know, right? Bitcoin can pull back a little bit more, sure, right? I mean, if you're a bull and you don't think Bitcoin can pull back more, I think you just got to be okay if it does. It could, but in reality, if we pull back to the mid 50s, we just went to 60K. Is the mid 50s really that bad? Right? If we go to the bull market support band at 54K, is that really that bad? Not really, right? So just remember that. All right, back to the chat. When money whale talk. I mean, whale talk. We've had a pretty good run so far. Remember, guys, don't buy highs. Buy fear. You'll feel much better when you buy fear. I know it feels better to buy when the market's bullish, though. It feels much better. That's why for like the last 3 months, I said I'm not buying any more crypto. No more. No. I'm not buying any more. Too bullish. Now, but I'm happy to step in. Now. I am delighted to step in now. I'm delighted. So here's the biggest lesson on this. When the market bounces, because it will bounce at some point, right? Whenever it does, do not buy on the way up. On the way up, that's when you don't do any buying, and when you're working your job or whatever you're doing, take the extra money you have and keep it. So then you're going to feel so much better. The next time there's a pullback, now you build up a nice cash position. Now you have a little extra money, right? And when you get that next pullback, because there's always going to be a pullback. There's always going to be a pullback at some point. Then you'll be like, yes, I didn't buy on the way up. I didn't get too overhyped. Now I got some cash to be able to throw into the dips. That's why you don't buy when the market's bullish, guys. Don't buy. You want to. You want to throw it in. Big buys. Your biggest buys. Right? Don't do it. Refrain. Unless you got some like cool little cause you're trying to do. Unless you got some cool cause. Let's see. Anderson said, you're a genius. I would have never thought this. Well, Anderson, I know it sounds like I'm stating the obvious, but people don't do this. You know how many times I said I'm not buying any more crypto, and people are like, Jordan, you're stupid for not buying any more crypto. What do you mean? We're bullish. So it sounds like what I'm saying is obvious, but it's not usually what people do, right? Usually we like to do the opposite. 50 to 80K for 6 months, and then top at 105K. 50 to 60K for 8 months. Oh my God, that would be brutal. That would be brutal. That would be so boring. Oh geez. Hopefully not, man. I mean, it's a scenario that could happen. I've seen crazier things. I'm open to anything, man. I'm open to anything. I think there's a lot of scenarios right now. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what's going to happen in the short term. I have no idea what's going to happen in the short term, guys. We got the halving in play, which gets just everyone throws out different scenarios, right? And just sell the news, now everyone thinks it's sell the news, so is it going to be sell the news? And we got the Hong Kong ETF now. Throws a little wrinkle into the plans, right? Because everyone kind of dismissed the US ETFs. Everyone say, oh, they're not going to be big, including myself. I was like, they're not going to really do anything. And then literally Bitcoin doubled 3 weeks later. Now we got the Hong Kong ETFs. No one's kind of talking about it. Everyone's writing that off now. So there's so many different aspects to it. Now we got this World War III shit. There's so many factors that could be at play right now, and that's why I said it earlier. I think the best thing you could do, honestly, if you're a bull and you think the market's going higher, only have the money you could afford to lose in the market. Erase trading view for your phone. Don't look at the prices for another 1 or 2 months. I honestly think that's the best thing you can do. Now, it takes a lot for me to say this because I want you guys to watch me every day. I do. I want you guys to watch me. I want you guys to come hang out. But sometimes the best thing you can do is just not look at the prices if you can't handle it, and just forget about it for a couple months, and then come back and see where the prices are. The important thing is only have money you can afford to lose in the market when you do that. You don't want to come back. You don't want to come back to ramen. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Ben Sopra, thanks, bro, for all this info. I'd like to know what altcoin status once ETH pumps to 5K to 7K, as ETH ETF will pump ETH price 100%. My answer to you would be, man, typically when ETH is outperforming Bitcoin, that's when alts perform well. We haven't seen that though. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the other thing is everyone's kind of forgetting about the Ethereum ETF thing. You know, I think, what was that? What's the deadline? May? I forget when's the Ethereum deadline? Hold up. Let me check. Ethereum ETF deadline. Let's see. The SEC delayed making any decisions on spot Ether ETF. Okay, so May 23rd is the final deadline for some applications. If applicants start updating their files by May, it may be a sign for optimism. So May 23rd is the final deadline for some applications. May 23rd. Okay. So according to Google, May 23rd is the Ethereum ETF. And everyone's kind of forgetting about that too. Like, there's so many things coming up or happening right now. It's just, it's crazy. It's the market is I don't, there's just so many things, right? And all I can do is I'm trusting the Bitcoin cycles, and that's what I'm going to do. Short term, anything can happen, but I think there's a lot of good things happening behind the scenes that, you know, we all kind of forget about too. ETH ETF declined. Oh God, that would be carnage. That would be carnage, bro. Carnage. Let's see. Let's look at alts. Is there a point of looking at alts? Right. I think the only point of looking at any alt right now is, let's see, is Doge. I don't know if anyone noticed this today, but Doge has shown some serious strength throughout this market clump. Like, someone's buying Doge. Like, someone's coming in and scooping up all the Doge. That's the one thing I've noticed, right? So, like, everything else has kind of gotten dismantled. Doge is kind of sitting where it was on that Saturday when the market started to crumble, right? And Doge is, like I said, Doge is kind of sitting right there. And Doge is almost green today. The rest of the market got disheveled. Doge was actually almost green today. But someone's coming in and scooping Doge here. I don't know what's going on there. But someone's coming in and scooping it. There's a point at looking at levels where we should buy. I mean, I think yesterday was yet the yesterday levels were the time to buy. All right, so I guess we can look. I guess we can look at altcoins. Most altcoins came to support yesterday, right? So if you look at some of these, right? So just give it like a overall view. Here's Optimism, right? So Optimism has this like long-term channel, which it wicked off of yesterday, right? So low, 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 low. That's the bottom of that channel. I think if you get that bottom of that channel again, I don't think you're going to get that again, unless the market just absolutely craters to the downside. I don't think you're going to get this level again, but that's kind of the level look to buy. If you get it, is all the way back down here. I just don't think you're going to get that level again. Let's look at some other stuff. So like near, let's see. Here's near, right? If you get into this level again, like 436, that's where I look to buy near. If you get it from these highs to these highs, if you get that level again, back test of these highs, that's where you buy. I wouldn't buy up here though. You can. I'm just, for me, if I'm going to buy something, it has to be at a good level. We've already bounced here 25% up, right? So I would only want to buy this if it came back into this box again. I don't think it is going to go in that box again. But if it does, that's where I'd be looking to buy. But you'll notice it's the same thing on almost all the charts. Okay, so injective, right? Big ass wick into these highs, right? So previous highs, you wicked into those highs. I would want to buy in this box if I got another chance to buy in that box, right? So if I got another chance to buy in that box, all the alts came and tested the previous highs. That's where I'd want to buy. Really, if you get back to where it was yesterday, which I doubt you're going to get those prices again. I doubt it. Could be wrong, but I doubt you're going to get those same wicks that you did yesterday. Unless Bitcoin just decides to like go down to like 50K or some shit. But I highly doubt it. In my opinion, like if people didn't sell yesterday, it's going to take them, like the people who held through yesterday, it's going to take them a lot to sell. Like if they didn't sell yesterday, I don't know why they would sell. You know what I'm saying? Basically yesterday, you had minus 20%. Like if you held through that, you're probably going to hold through, even if Bitcoin did break through like 50, 55, 56, 54K, somewhere in that range. I mean, you're still talking, even to get back down to those altcoin lows that you put in yesterday, you're looking at 20% dump. I don't even think you would dump 20% on alts, even if Bitcoin dumped. I mean, like from here, 56K is like 10%. So, I don't know. But that's a thought. Oh, man. I wanted to grab some INJ. I mean, what you could do now, right? This is something that could happen, right? So you got the low. So obviously, even if we're bullish, it's probably not just going to be straight up, oh my God, there's still some fear, right? So now people are going to be kind of like selling. The people who bought this wick down here, they're going to be taking profits, right? So what we could do, if you wanted to buy some INJ, is we can take the low to the high of this first initial move. And if we do get a retrace, and this is if you really believe it's going up. Like I wouldn't buy it unless we got back into this box. And if we don't get into the box, I just say F it. Right? But if you get a retrace into the golden pocket to the 786, this is if you're really bullish. You look to buy that retracement, right? Where we're taking that daily wick and you're hoping for a higher low before then the market pushes back up. If you wanted to do it like that, you could certainly do it that way too. But I think right here, if you're looking to buy right here, I think you're better waiting off. I think the time to buy was yesterday. Now you wait for a retrace back down. Now you wait for a retrace. Fill the wick. Buy on the wick if you want to. But I think you'll get a slightly better entry. Because even if you come down to like the 618, I mean, that's an extra 11%. 786 is like 20%. Right? So that's the way I look at it. And that's the same for all the altcoins, right? Optimism. You can wait for the fill the whole wick, or you can pull up the retracements and look to buy in the 618, 786 range on the retracement. and we route it back up. If you get it. You might not get it though, right? You might not get it. And that's the beauty with crypto. You might not get the levels that you want, right? Let's see. Wayne. Shout out to Wayne. Wayne's in her always shouting Bitcoin, which I agree with. I think there is the resilience so far, and I don't want to jinx it because I feel like whenever we do this, whenever I hear is like, wow, Bitcoin's so strong right now. You know, you got the stock markets dumping, you got altcoins dumping, and we're just sitting here going, wow, Bitcoin's really strong. This is really, really weird. We don't want to jinx that. And I'm hoping to counter jinx it here because whenever I hear people talking about how strong Bitcoin is, it usually dumps very shortly after. So we're not going to jinx it here. Okay? We're not going to jinx it. But I think you guys, Bitcoin is strong right now. I mean, it is strong. But I'm gonna acknowledge the jinx, so it's not a jinx. If I didn't acknowledge the jinx, then it would be the jinx. But right now, Bitcoin is really holding up despite stock market carnage. Who's in there? Ben Sopra, ETH BTC daily and weekly. All right, ETH BTC. Ben Sopra, thank you, man. ETH BTC. That's a really good chart. A lot of different opinions on this. My thesis was wrong, okay? So my thesis was wrong on ETH BTC. 110%, right? 110% my ETH BTC thesis was wrong. This was definitely something I was wrong on, okay? The January of the halving year usually marks the low for ETH, but it actually didn't this time. Now, we'll see what happens from here. Because we technically did break this support level on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Right? So now the question is, do we go a little bit lower now that we broke the lows? We do know we have the Ethereum ETF coming up in May 23rd. So about 38 days. We have the ETH ETF final deadline. Something tells me that this chart will react based on how that goes. Something tells me, right? So the ETH ETF approval, I'm guessing at first you would see a dump because that's how Bitcoin was, right? Everyone gets all hyped. ETH ETF, woohoo! The one thing I'm surprised about though is we're not, and why we might not see that is no one seems to be talking about the Ethereum ETF like everyone was talking about the Bitcoin ETF before. It's really weird. And I think it's because there's this like weird hate towards Ethereum. But it's a lot different this time. With just not a lot of people talking about the ETH ETF a month before. But when it was the Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin was rocking. And maybe because it's just overall market weakness, right? Bitcoin's weak, so ETH is going to be weak. But it's been quite weird. It's been quite weird. So will we see the opposite effect, where the ETH ETF actually gets approved? Because maybe it's because people don't think the ETH ETF is going to get approved. Maybe that's why. But if it does, you might not see that initial sell-off because no one's positioned for it, and then everyone's going to want to get positioned. So I think this is going to have a lot to do with that. We probably have another month to figure out what to do here. But I'll be watching that very, very closely next month to see how that goes. And that can dictate, what we do, right? What we do. Would we rather be in Bitcoin or would we rather be in ETH? You could argue either way, but there's definitely times in previous cycles where you much rather be in ETH, where Bitcoin wasn't moving and ETH was skyrocketing. So it is important to look at this, right? I mean, if you were in Bitcoin from about this January 2020 instead of ETH went up like 4 times as much. Same thing over here. 2016, you can see what ETH did against Bitcoin in 2016 and 2017, right? So we're going to keep an eye on this. Could have a little bit lower to go because I don't think there's that hype like the Bitcoin one had. So we'll see though. But definitely I thought this was going to be the low. Was not. So I was 100% wrong on that. And I'll take the L on ETH BTC. Even though we're only slightly lower, but I'll take the L. Let's see what everyone's saying in here. ETH is trading like oil futures for gas feet. Oh, shit. ETH. ETH is trading like goddamn shit. I'm up 3x on most coins. I'm just greedy POS that I need more. Yeah, that's for sure. Denied for fake out, approved on appeal. Market? You think so, Ken? Could be. I don't know. I'm not an ETF expert, so I'm not gonna act like I am. I have no idea. I will say, the only thing I will say is BlackRock has only ever lost one ETF application. Ever. They're like 360 wins and one loss. So the odds go towards it getting approved. They've only ever lost one time. So I don't know if I would bet against BlackRock. BlackRock controls the world, fellas. If it's not obvious by now, the Bitcoin ETF wasn't approved for years. As soon as BlackRock wanted it, boom, it's approved. If you don't realize that BlackRock controls the world, fellas, you never will. You never will. You never will. Okay. Let's see. Stumbledore said, once I get 420 of any token, I always hate buying more and screwing up such a perfect number, so my goal is to have 420. So you want 420 of each token. I like it. I like it. It's going to be perfect for the Bitcoin halving on 420. Cross our fingers. Right now it's 419. It's kind of stupid. Let's make it 420. Friday's the halving, though. It's either going to be Friday or Saturday. I'm hoping it's Saturday, but right now it's Friday. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a stream. I'll catch you guys later. Have a fantastic day, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button, and hopefully, we get Bitcoin to move from these lows. And really, altcoins, just it's be fine if altcoins just build a base here for a little bit, to be honest. So take care, guys. Peace out. Much love. And don't do anything I want to do. Don't pay extra crypto. Most of all, don't pay extra crypto. Peace.